I fully believe that young men need to stop watching porn altogether. Your life off the pitch has a lot to do with how you perform and feel on the pitch. RicFit YouTube fam, what is going on? Hope you're having a fantastic day so far. Hope you're having a fantastic week, and I hope you're enjoying your training and feeling great. Today's YouTube video is going to be a different topic that I don't normally talk about, but I really wanted to cover it because I think it's going to help a lot of young athletes, specifically a lot of young males. And maybe some parents will look down on this, but I really think that it will help out their son, and it will really change the landscape of how they feel and how they treat women overall. So this is going to be a very interesting video of mine because I'm going to take a lot of research that I did specifically from the scientists and the articles that I read, and also specific experience from myself living overseas for the past 8 years, because I've lived in multiple countries and the dynamic between men and women throughout these countries is very different. How people treat masculinity and femininity, and I think it's very important to bring to you, to bring a new perspective into your life, whether you've traveled or not. So just to clarify and be very upfront from the beginning, I am basically going to be talking to most of my audience who is a young male audience who always ask me this question, and I am going to be coming to you from my perspective, a male who is attracted to females. So if that's not you, I'm not sure if this video applies to you, but it could definitely help you. But either way, I'm here to help you, and I want to lead you down the right path because that's my goal. I am not sure how females' brains work and how pornography affects females' brains. I didn't do research on that. I did the male perspective who is attracted to females, and I'm also not sure about the brain of the male who likes males. So if you want to do that research, you're welcome to do so, but I'm sure it's kind of similar across the board based on the scientific research. But I just want to clarify this up front. I am not a psychologist, and I am not a licensed dating coach. Though, like I said, I have experience with different women from different cultures. And one more thing I want to clarify from the very beginning. I fully respect and love women. I have a very, very close relationship with my mother. I've had many girlfriends in the past, and I've always treated girls in the right way. So let me go into some personal experience with porn and how it's affected me and my life, and also my friends' lives, and also a lot of you who I speak to on social media. Personally, for me, I've never really been into porn. Obviously, when I was younger and I didn't have a mentor like myself telling me that it was the wrong thing to do, I experimented with it. I checked it out, I looked into it, but I never really got obsessed with it. I never really got so into it where I was losing focus on school, losing focus on football, losing focus on friends, losing focus on real relationship with women. But I was young. So obviously when you're younger, you experiment with things, but I never really got into it. I actually have an interesting story. I was dating a girl here last year. I was dating her for a couple months. So she always asked me if I was into porn and if I watched it, and I told her I was really never into it, and she was actually shocked. So a lot of the men that she had dated before me were really into it, and she was a little concerned. So I think that made her feel a little bit more comfortable. But in general, personally, I really love an actual intimate relationship with a woman in person rather than on a screen. I've never been into it, and I think people get too wrapped up into this. And like I speak about in this entire video, it's just instant gratification that you can be putting your energy into something that's useful for your life. Personally, for me, I've always loved suffering. I love delaying gratification because personally, I know when I delay gratification, that's when I get the best results. But for some of my friends, they've been wrapped up into porn. Some of the people that I talk to on the DM, they're really wrapped up. They look at it 3-4 times a day. It holds them back from the important activities that they need to do to advance and improve their lives. Focus on developing a true relationship with a woman in person and really being able to feel those emotions and those sensations, because there's really nothing like it, and a computer screen will never ever replace that. It will never replace human connection. Look for other ways to satisfy that urge. I fully believe that young men need to stop watching porn altogether. You don't need to go completely cold turkey, but I would highly recommend minimizing your porn consumption as much as possible. There's many reasons for this, and I'm going to go in detail right now on that. Here are 5 negative effects porn has on you. Number one, porn can negatively impact your relationships. I'm gonna refer to my phone because I'm not an expert on this, but I did my due diligence and I did my research on how porn affects the human's brain. According to a study that tracked couples over time, porn consumption was the second strongest indicator that a relationship would suffer. Research consistently shows that porn consumers are twice as likely to later report experiencing a divorce or breakup, even after controlling for marital happiness, sexual satisfaction, and other relevant factors. There is no substitute for real connection, and porn isn't worth risking that. Number two, porn can become habit forming. Many porn consumers are surprised to find that porn can be difficult to quit. Number three, porn can actually inhibit your sexual function. I understand many of you may be young watching this and you haven't had sex yet, and you haven't experienced this, but I want to come to you as a mentor and a big brother because it's very important in life. Like I said, human connection is very important and you're going to engage in it one way or another. And one thing to add is make sure you use protection. Interestingly enough, porn often leads to less sex and less satisfying sex. Isn't that interesting? Research routinely shows that compulsive pornography consumption is associated with sexual dysfunction for both men and women, difficulty with arousal and sexual performance, and decreased sexual satisfaction. Number four, porn can change your brain. Like we talked about before, that potent external stimuli, that external stimulus can change the hormones in your brain and how you think about sex and how you think about your relationship to women. It can make you become lazy. It can make you just sit behind your screen and get dopamine and get these hormones without having to chase that goal, without having to go and approach women, which is the most important thing, or one of the most important things in this life. And number five, porn can fuel mental health issues. A number of peer-reviewed studies have found a link between pornography consumption and mental health outcomes like depression, anxiety, loneliness, lower life satisfaction, and poorer self-esteem and overall mental health. I just want to finish off with a couple more interesting facts. Huberman stated on a podcast, if you feel underwhelmed or life is no good, chances are your dopamine system has been pushed too hard. If you want to continue to enjoy things, you need to know when to shut the gate of that hedonism, of that behavior that just gives you that instant gratification without having to put in work to get there. In other words, porn can weaken the logical part of our brain that helps us weigh consequences and make healthy decisions. The reward center can become hyper-focused on porn and its associated rewards, and the more the craving is rewarded, the hungrier a person can get for it, which can lead to addiction, like we talked about before. So now let's finish off from the last article from another neuroscientist. From a neuroscientific perspective, research shows that problematic hypersexual behavior such as compulsive porn consumption is associated with poor decision-making and problem-solving, greater impulsivity, and impaired emotional regulation. So this was an article specifically on how porn affected athletes. Considering how important each of these skills can be to an athlete striving for peak performance, it's understandable that many great athletes try to stay away from porn. Dr. Simon Kuhn, German, a neuroscientist and psychologist at the Max Planck Institute for Human Development, mentions that when people watch a lot of porn, their brain's prefrontal cortex often isn't able to control activity in the reward region. In other words, porn can weaken the logical part of our brain that helps us weigh consequences and make healthy decisions. Now I want to talk about how to actually become more confident with women and completely shove that pornography crap out the window. So let's talk about 7 specific ways for you to become a more high value man, which is going to lead to more confidence with women and help you develop those important relationships and important interactions and that human connection that we talked about in the beginning of the video. So let me first state this. Instead of chasing women, your goal should be to chase excellence. Your goal should be to become the highest value man possible because, like I said from the beginning, if you do that, you will attract the right woman. Number 1, become a man with a purpose. I said this in the beginning of the video, even after reading this. Having a purpose is about having personal standards and a desire to improve upon what you already have in your skill set. A high-value man with a purpose understands his strengths and his weaknesses, and he works on to improve his strengths and works to improve his flaws and at all times he demonstrates high standards and he holds himself to a high accountability rate. Number 2, being resilient, emotional and social strength. And like I always talk about, that emotional and social and mental strength, that is developed through doing hard things, through selective suffering. Like I talk about throughout all my social media, when you are willing to suffer, you will become more resilient and you will become better. I don't care if it sounds harsh. At the end of the day, I've lived overseas for 8 years. I've lived in many countries, seen many cultures. When you realize that no one really cares about you except your close friends, your close family, and your loved ones, you will set yourself free. Because at the end of the day, you gotta realize this is a cold world. This is a harsh world. It's a dog eat dog. It's a competitive world. If you don't become resilient and you don't become the best man possible, you're gonna get eaten. You're gonna get eaten. And it might sound rough, but it's 100% true. So you have to make yourself the most resilient possible. You have to make yourself the most highly armored man possible so you can destroy the competition. I go on to state, an individual's ability to keep his chin up in the face of adversity and work through the hard times rather than backing down will make yourself a high value man. And one thing I want to let you know, it's not about becoming an overnight success. You're not going to become James Bond. You're not going to become Superman overnight. It's about working towards a resilient body, which is going to result in a resilient mindset. Number 3, communicate well as a high value man. Let's set 3 rules here. Avoid banter when you're talking about serious stuff. When you're talking about serious stuff, keep it strictly business. Number 2, always clarify your meaning if there are any misunderstandings that occur with any interaction, and make sure you take responsibility for any mistakes that you made or a member of your team made. Whenever you're speaking with someone you don't know, speak clearly and speak correctly and fluently with them to make sure your point gets across. Number 4, and I've talked about this many times before with my friends, with women that I'm dating, one of the milestones, one of the keystones that I need in my life are strong male friendships. Strong male friendships are very important because a strong man needs to have other testosterone, so to say, around him to hold him accountable and keep him to his high standards. You can ask any of my friends. I always tell them the truth, and I am never a yes man, and the truth may hurt in the beginning, but that truth will make them a better man because I truly love when my friends succeed. I'm the type of guy, when I succeed, I want to put my friends on. I want to put my close people on because I love seeing when my close people succeed. That's actually one of my biggest joys in life. For example, if I have a friend who's scared to chase his dream, I will do whatever it takes to help him push there. And if he doesn't succeed in that dream chase, I know he will find another avenue. But I fully know that if he chases his dream, he won't have any regrets. And one of my biggest and best qualities that I think as a friend is I hold every single one of my friends to a high standard and I keep them accountable for all their actions. And I'll tell them when they do something right and when they do something wrong. Number 5, I talk about this all the time when we talk about training. You need to be consistent as a high value man. When you're consistent in your actions, your words, and your communication, everything will work out for you. Truly present yourself as a high value man. People need to know that they can rely on you. You need to be stable from a mindset and emotional standpoint. Here's an analogy that I got. Let me ask you this. Would you feel safe driving a car where the brakes only worked 50% of the time? Absolutely not. That would be a disaster. So, trust and dependency work in a very similar way. If you aim to gain the trust and dependency of those around you, they need to know you're going to be there when they need you the most. If you're flaky and unreliable, the fact is you're going to find it hard to win the trust of those around you. In short, make sure you fulfill the promises you make. Stick to your decisions and demonstrate reliability when it comes to making plans and follow through with them. So that's number 5. Be consistent. Number 6, command presence if you want to be a high value man. Commanding respect can come in many forms. Your personal style, the way you talk, and how you hold yourself in day-to-day life will command presence. People will respect you based on how you dress, how you talk, and how you act. It's all about confidence. Learn how to command respect by dressing with confidence, speaking with confidence, and moving with confidence. And this is a very important one. At the end of the day, it takes a very open-minded man to consider his downfalls and recognize where he needs to make improvements. However, the fact that you're watching the video to this point means that you want to be a high-value man and you want to get better. And you want to improve yourself in every area of your life, which is going to help you on the football pitch. I promise you. And number 7, have high standards. When you become the best version of yourself and you hold yourself to high standards, you do all the right things, you do all the right habits that we talk about on a daily basis, you will be at another level. I promise you that. There are not a lot of men, there are not a lot of people who hold themselves to high standards. And when you hold yourself to a high standard, you will stand out to a team, you will stand out to a woman that you're trying to attract, you will stand out to business ventures, and you will create yourself your own opportunities, which is the goal. You take care of all the things that I talk about on a daily basis, training, on and off the pitch, on the ball, in the gym, watching film, doing all those little things and those little details. You take care of your nutrition, you take care of your sleep, you take care of your recovery, you take care of your breath work, you take care of your stretching. All that stuff adds up and you become high value, guys. You become high value. This is gonna sum it all up. If you are a lifelong learner and a student of life and you are open-minded, you will do well with women. I promise you that. Let me state that one more time. If you are a lifelong learner and you are a student of life and you are willing to learn and be open-minded to new ideas and you are chasing excellence and you become the highest value man possible, you will do well with women. I think as a male, it's very important to have a good relationship with females because it's gonna help your performance on and off the pitch. I can promise you that. I have friends playing throughout the high leagues all across the world and we talk about this very often. If you feel good off the pitch, you're gonna feel good on the pitch. It doesn't work the other way around. If you have good feelings, if you have good hormones running off the pitch, your performance on the pitch, I promise you, will be so much better. I learned that when I first went over to Germany. When I first went over to Germany, when I was 20 years old, I actually set a bet with my buddy that we would be strict, not go out, not do anything, not eat any cheap foods for about 1 year, and about the 10-month period, I almost hit complete burnout. Actually, I was basically burned out, and I really was kind of considering whether I want to play football or not. The most important thing is being happy. Whatever you do in life, you want to be happy and you want to feel good. And the reason I'm bringing you this video is because when you make yourself happy and you become the highest value man possible, you will find the highest value female for you possible. And that's always my goal. I know in myself and within my consciousness, my brain and my body, if I make myself the best possible man, the highest value man possible, I will find and attract the highest value female. And one thing that I've noticed from about 20 to 28, I've increased my value as a man. And as a result of that, I have attracted higher value, higher standard females because I hold myself to a high standard, which means I'm gonna hold the female that I'm dating, my friends, and my family to a high standard. So as you know, I'm very real and I'm very transparent. I'm not a yes man. I always tell the truth. I care a lot about you and helping you improve as a footballer and a man and a human and an athlete because that's what's gonna make your life fulfilling. When you find your true purpose, your true why, and your true mission, life becomes so much sweeter and so much better. And I want to go back to my personal experience because maybe you're currently in that boat and that's absolutely okay. But with my channel, and like I always talk about, I want to be the mentor that I wish I had when I was younger. I wish I had a mentor like myself when I was 8 years old, 9 years old, 10 years old, because it would have helped me fly past the bad decisions and the mistakes that I made in my teen years. So with all that being said, I want to let you know I wasn't always confident with women. I actually got more confident with women at about 22, 23, and probably 24 was my peak when I got fully confident, and I'm always improving myself and becoming more confident with women. It's a process. Like I said, you need to become the highest value man possible and constantly increase your value, constantly get better in every aspect of your life, and you will attract better females. So when I was in high school, I wasn't super confident with women. I was just focused on myself, improving my ability on and off the pitch, and that's actually a reason I got into training. Because training, working out, looking good in the mirror, feeling good in my body actually improved my confidence and self-esteem. And even though in the beginning I was doing it for women, it got me into the gym. And that's when I really started to learn this stuff. And at 15, I really started to study all of this performance optimization, and I've been studying this stuff for 13 years, and that's obviously what I do in my one-on-one coaching program. I want to help the guys and girls that I coach become the best version of themselves for many reasons. For number one, obviously to become a better footballer and a better athlete, but the even bigger picture, to become a better person, a better partner, and a better friend, because I think that's what matters most about life. The most important thing are your relationships with your partners, with your loved ones, with your friends. When you have good relationships around you, I promise you, you will feel good. I could speak to the perspective when I was in Germany. I didn't have as many friends as I would have liked. I didn't have as many people around me that I would have liked. I had a couple really good friends, but I knew if I was happier off the pitch, which is what I discovered a couple years later, then my on-the-pitch football was better, because it all goes hand in hand. So that wraps up the entire video. One of the most in-depth videos that I've ever put out on this channel, and I hope you really enjoyed it. A couple inspirations for this video. Number one, you. When you ask the question, I want to give you the solution and I want to give you the answer, because like I've said throughout this video, I want to be the big brother that I never had. I want to be the mentor that I never had, because I wish I learned from someone like myself, a 28-year-old man who is obsessed with improving performance on and off the field, obsessed with improving relationships with women, improving relationships with his friends and with his family, and living the best life possible. I wish I had that. So I'm bringing all my knowledge to you. So whatever question you have, you let me know, and I will bring you an in-depth solution to make your life better off the pitch, which is going to make your life better on the pitch. You need to know, if we learned one thing from this video, your life off the pitch has a lot to do with how you perform and feel on the pitch. And then the number two inspiration from this video was Hamza. Hamza has an excellent channel where he tries to help young men become a better version of themselves and become a high value man. So thank you to those two inspirations. Thank you to you for your support. And if you love and like this video, hit that subscribe button. Make sure you turn on that notification bell so you see when I put out new videos. And make sure you recommend this channel. Make sure you recommend my stuff to your friends, your teammates, and your parents. Yes, maybe your parents might think this is a taboo subject, but I highly believe if they watch the entire video and they don't just take clips out of it, you will gain a lot of value in this, and it will really help you to raise the best son possible. Thank you so much for your support. Once again, this is not fake. This is all real, coming from the heart and the soul of me. Thank you once again. Drop a comment and let me know what you thought the most interesting fact was here. And I will see you in the next video. Keep grinding, and most importantly, take care of yourself. Love you.